G'day, mate. How's Tommy? Is he in good spirits?
Yeah, Tommy's in really good spirits. He was out and about today on the track, walking around and getting around the boys. So, obviously he's under the protocols, but he's going really well, and the medical staff taking good care of him.
The other one's Big Cedo, mate. We saw him do a little bit during the week. How's he going?
Yeah, similar to Tommy, obviously under the protocols as well. But he seems to be going well. Good to see him out on the track and having a run around. He's all going pretty well.
Is he going to gradually sort of increase his training stuff, mate? Is he feeling physically up to doing that? Do you know?
Yeah, look, I'm not completely across his plan moving forward. Obviously, the doctors will be all over it. But yeah, as I said, he's looking good out on the track, having a run around, which is good to see.
Easy, mate. Jump in, fellas.
Go for it, Josh, if you're there.
Yeah. Andy, you've had a few concussions yourself over the last couple of years. Can you talk us through how big the focus is at the moment across the league and in your own experience around, being really cautious with head injuries in particular?
Yeah, no concussions for me. But yeah, from what I've heard and speaking to other boys, obviously it's something that you have to take pretty seriously. You don't want to mess around when it comes to long term and with your head. So we follow all the protocols and do everything we need to do and tick all the boxes along the way to make sure that our guys are fully fit and healthy and in the right space to be back on the track and training and playing.
Sorry, mate, terrible research for me. Looked like a pretty intense session this morning. How much of a difference have you noticed between this season, this pre-season, last pre-season, in terms of your workload since Burjo's come along?
Yeah, Burjo's been awesome for us, I reckon. All the boys are working pretty hard, and as you saw today, there's plenty of match sim and boys running around full tilt. So yeah, it's been awesome. We've been able to get huge load under our belts, and we feel that that's going to hold us in great stead moving into the start of the season.
Sure. And you must feel like 16 or 17 games last year after what was a pretty frustrating start to your career. You feel like you're starting to really build some momentum into your football?
Yeah, certainly. It's been good to get a full pre-season under my belt. But I think, not just myself. There's a lot of guys in that boat that have been able to get really good time out on the track, and I think that'll hold us in great stead moving forward.
In terms of competitions for spots in that back line, how fierce is that sort of internal competition at the moment? I know Jake's moved on, but there's probably a lot of younger guys as well that are vying for spots back there.
Yeah, there's certainly some very healthy competition going on at the moment, which is exactly what we want, really. It's just going to keep driving us to improve and force us to get the best out of ourselves. So the more guys we can have in and around the mark playing games, I think the better we'll be as a club.
Andy, did you actually see what happened to Tom on Wednesday?
Yeah, it's just a collision in a marking contest. So one of those innocuous things that you can't really do too much about. I think we all know dudes and knows he's pretty courageous and goes pretty hard. So it's just one of those things you can't help. But yeah, as I said, it's good to see him in good spirits and out on the track and all looking pretty good.
Is it hard to find that line at training, especially in the pre-season, about going at 100% like you would in a game and sort of making sure you look after yourself as well when it's February?
Yeah, to an extent, but I think we want to be ready to prepare to play at game level. So when we meet opposition, we're not shocked. And yeah, unfortunately, these are the things that just happen every now and again when you go on at that sort of level. So yeah, we'll take the utmost care in his protocols, but we'll still keep cracking in at training.
Just sort of following on from what Josh was asking you about, how is your game going to develop from what we last saw last season?
Yeah, look, I'm always trying to add new strings to my bow. So been working a little bit with the wingers, been doing plenty with the backs. A lot of the guys striving, as I said before, for spots at the top level. So we'll just keep pushing each other to try and improve as individuals and as a team.
Thank you.
Hey, Moose, what do you want to get out of the pre-season, the trial games, mate. Is there a couple of areas specifically that you're sort of working towards to make sure you're there in the early parts of the season, the AFL season?
Yeah, I'll just keep working on my game as a whole. Probably the main things are on the defensive side of my game. I'll keep trying to take that to a new level, and I've really been doing a fair bit of work with Luke Brown, who's obviously one of the best in the game with the defensive side. So hopefully that comes through in the pre-season, and then just keep getting involved wherever I can. We've got some pretty elite weapons that I've been able to learn off of in Brodie Smith and Jordan Dawson coming on board. It's been great.
And when you develop your game, I mean, Brownie, I don't reckon you'd be hard pressed to find the time Brownie's lost a one-on-one contest. Do you sort of put yourself to work on, Josh Rochelle or, McAdam? Who are the guys that you test yourself against?
Absolutely. I think we've got a pretty good small forward brigade at the moment. So, yeah, as you mentioned, Shane, Joshy Rochelle's flying at the moment. So it's been great to test myself against him. James Rowe, the list goes on. Ned McHenry. It's really good spot that we're in, I think, with all those guys firing, and it's definitely a test for us defenders as well.
Crows fans want to see Josh early doors. Hopefully he might get a gig in the preseason games in round one, mate. Just tell us a little bit about what sort of player he's like and what to expect from him.
I think first and foremost, he's got a good head on his shoulders. So that sets him up pretty well for the rest of his game. He works hard and he's got an enormous amount of talent. So I think we can expect to see him hitting the scoreboard throughout the year, and definitely an exciting young player.
Have you spent much time playing on Toby Green? I think Josh himself was comparing himself to Toby before the draft. Are there some similarities there?
Yeah, look, I haven't spent too much time playing on Toby, but all I can speak for is Josh and his enormous amount of talent. So, definitely from afar. A couple of pretty good players.
Would you say Crows fans should be pretty excited if you feel like you're testing yourself against a kid who hasn't played an AFL game? Yeah,
definitely. And I think that's the whole crop that's coming this year in Jackie Saligo and Zachy Taylor and Nank as well. They've stepped in and haven't missed a beat. They've really put us to the test, and that energy that they've brought as the youth has been enormous to driving some of our older guys.
Hey, Moose, mind if I just jump in for one more, mate? Sorry. I know you were in your footy infancy when this all happened, but there's a lot of talk about the camp stuff and the fact that people have been made to apologise for some of the coverage. Has it been brought up at all at the club? Have the boys sort of mentioned it, maybe to say, well, it shows that the club didn't really do anything wrong?
I appreciate the interest, mate, but not much talk of it around the footy club. We're just full focus, I think, on the season ahead, and obviously that's a long way in the past, so we haven't really delved into that at all.